First time I ever was asked to give any kind of presentation with the word horse in the name. One time I was performing in Canada, so something just shorted out. Is this the problem you were talking about? Sort of thing? Well, you know what we could do. Loud enough?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'll still use that wire for the guitar, okay? If it works. One time I was performing in Canada, I think I was in Saskatoon, and I have a song called Sitting on a Gold Mine that always used to make me sweat, which is why I stopped singing, because I'm an old man now. And I did something that no pianist should ever do. No pianist should ever do is put a bottle of water, any water, anywhere near a piano, right? Never, never, never. Now, it was a closed bottle of water, to my credit. So I put a closed bottle of water right here. It was an electric keyboard, just like this. Put it right here and started pounding away and sweating. And the water bottle in the middle of the song fell and turned off the keyboard. Like actually, a small little switch actually somehow managed to actually turn off the piano on its way down. So I'm doing this, and all of a sudden it's completely silent. Anyway, that's what this reminded me of. Okay, here we go. I haven't thought about that in years. It was pretty funny. See, the magic is, you have to decide. As a performer, I decide in the room, but you also can decide in a way. You can decide in the world. Is the world filled with friends you haven't yet met, or is the world filled with opponents and judges and critics and competitors? So for me, when I'm performing, no matter who it is, I assume the room is filled with friends who aren't taking notes to judge or critique. And it's much more relaxing that way. So I actually, when my keyboard just turned off, I just started laughing, and they did too. It was hilarious, you know, rather than be mortified. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here we go. Back to the song. This day is a witness to my sacred purpose, to all that I'm meant to be. This day is a witness to my sacred purpose, to all that I'm meant to be. Letting it in, letting it flow, letting it go where it will go, letting the power of your presence lead the way. Letting it in, I'm letting you know, I'm letting you lead, that I might follow, being a witness to your presence every day. This soul is a witness to my holy purpose, to all that I'm born to be. This soul is a witness to my holy purpose, to all that I'm born to be. Letting it in, letting you know, I'm letting you lead, that I might follow, being a witness to your presence every day. Letting you This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come to be. This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come to be. To all that I've come to be. Summer sounds like the laughter of a child. Great blue skies and evenings warm and mild. It's so easy then to affirm my faith again, that all is heaven sent, that God is within me. Strips the trees and turns the earth to brown. There's the faintest fear inside me. Will the warmth come back around? But still I believe in time. The summer sun again will shine. All the world is divine, as God is within me. Winter tests my spirit every year. In the cold it's so hard to remember that there's nothing in the world to fear. That all along my faith will keep me strong, 'cause winter's not so long, 'cause God is within me. Spring is born and life begins a brand new celebration. The gray the world has worn gives way to exultation. But in my soul the joy was already cold, 'cause all I had to know was that God is within me. And after all, through spring and summer, winter and fall, God remains all and always within me. God is Apparently the ASPCA was active back in the 30s, which is when Wizard of Oz was made, because they were actually on set and wouldn't allow the producers of the movie to dye, D-Y-E, dye the horses, because they actually had 4 horses on the set for 4 different colors in the scene where Dorothy is riding into the Emerald City to meet the wizard who's going to save her and get her back home. And she looks at the horse, and every time they pan back to the horse, it's a different color. So they had 4 different horses, and instead they had to use colored gelatin that they sprinkled all over the horse, and they had to stop it from licking itself. They would have to stop me from licking myself, so I understand. And so the ASPCA was active in the 30s, and if you ever came to any of my Wednesday nights here, you know that that would be something that would make me happy to hear. Although there was lots and lots of stuff with animals over the years, but that was one place where they stopped an animal from being dyed red, which is probably a good thing. So here's a little bit of dialogue from The Wizard of Oz. Dorothy says, "Please, please, sir, I've got to see the wizard. The Good Witch of the North sent me." The guardian of the Emerald City Gates says, "Prove it." Scarecrow says she's wearing ruby slippers. Guardian of the Emerald City Gates says, "Oh, so she is. Well, why didn't you say that in the first place? That's a horse of a different color." "So come on in." And in she goes. So hence the title. Some of you know Jean Houston, maybe?
Yeah.
Some of you have you ever seen her, heard her speak?
Yes.
That is one wild, way out woman with a brilliant mind, a gift for acting, lots of charisma, lots of insight, a vocabulary that includes words I've never heard by the thousands. So she wrote this book called The Wizard of Us, and I haven't read it. I only have her own summaries of it to go on, but what I sort of concluded as I thought about the phrase horse of a different color, so there's some simple symbolism, obvious symbolism really. Dorothy is riding into the Emerald City where she thinks a high and mighty wizard will save her, and it turns out that she could have saved herself all along, right? That's kind of one of the basic messages of the movie, beautiful message. It's a nice piece of symbolism, I think, that she rides a horse of a different color in to make that discovery, right? Horse of a different color meaning, well, that's something altogether different, right? Oh, well, that's an entirely different matter. That's kind of all it means. So thanks for giving me a very random phrase. But I liked that idea, right? That she could have saved herself all along, but needed something else altogether, no pun intended, to spur her on to that realization, right? Could a normal horse all metaphor I'm talking about, could a normal horse have ridden her in to such a realization that she was 3 clicks away from being home all along? So what I concluded is that the horse of a different color process, the wizard that Dorothy goes through, is an entirely internal process, metaphorically speaking. Entirely internal. See, I was going to lead with ways to come to a new realization, ways to come to a new life, a new relationship, a new career, a new self-image, a new mood, right? And that I have 4 words that I would stand by as a good process: trust, release, listen, leap. Okay? But for me, those are, I first started thinking leap, meaning take a leap of faith. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, no, see, she didn't need the horse, she didn't need the slippers, she didn't need the wizard, she didn't need any of it. It was an entirely internal process, and I've worked with Jean Houston enough times to know that I promise you that's what her book is about. That none of that stuff is needed to come to a springtime in your, I chose that song on purpose, obviously, to come to a springtime in your own life, to have a new whatever it is. It's an internal process. But trust, release, listen, and leap felt like a good structure for this morning. So I've already sung a song about trust, that God is within me song. Now let's move on to the question of release, and as I've done the last few times here, I'm going to let the songs do most of the talking. So here's another song. What I was made of, or is this really me? I've only recently discovered I've always stood in the shadows of expectations of me. Well, now that I see there's no judge, there's no jury, now that I know I can take my own road, I feel a freedom that I have never known. 'Cause it's about unbecoming what I never was. It's about what was never true. It's about unbelieving all the lies that I've been told. Unbecoming is the story of my soul. Everybody's name is given. Nobody asks us who we really are. But after so many years of living, you wouldn't think the answer would still feel so far. I'm slow, I'm smart, I'm accounting, I'm art, I'm left brain or right, I'm a morning person or night. Well, maybe it's time to step outside those lines, see who I find. 'Cause it's about unbecoming what I never was. It's about unlearning what was never true. my soul. The scariest thing is offending, disappointing everyone's vision of who I should be. But the only way home is to fly on my own till I know, till I see. It's about unbecoming what I never was. It's about unlearning what was never true. It's about unbelieving all the lies that I've been told. Unbecoming is the story of my soul. Unbecoming is coming home. I kind of enjoy the fact that on a morning that's ostensibly about something from The Wizard of Oz, I had a song that referred to home and flying. I don't know if you caught that. Fly on my own. Accidental, but I'm going to take credit for it anyway. So, there are so many different ways to view the concept of release. So many different kinds of release. There's forgiveness, there's letting go of grudges, letting go of associations, letting a past hurt be a past hurt. Tricky business release. Anybody here a master of it? But this is a song that comes to mind. One more song on the subject of release. I have a song, If the Race is Over. I'm not singing it today, but there's a line in there that was really intense to write and is always really intense to sing. How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? And it always sounds very harsh, or to me it sounds, you don't really want to hear die, in a song. And especially with the most absurdly attractive baby boy at home. And a newlywed bride, from 4 years ago, still definitely newlyweds. I'm most certainly afraid of dying in the physical way, no question about it. Certainly don't want that to happen for a long time. But there's multiple levels of the meaning of the word die. And you could certainly argue that every plant dies every winter before it rises again. And it rises again different, a little bit different every time. And so there's something to think about in terms of release. This is a song, I think I've sung it maybe one time here before. A couple of songs I'm singing here that this morning that I almost never sing, but here's one of them, and I think I've sung it maybe even recently. If so, I apologize, but it comes to mind on the subject of reinventing, of coming in as a horse of a different color. By the way, we are the horse. You know that, right? No gelatin required. For me, I'd rather it be cocoa powder or something. Anyway. I didn't mean to forgive you for all the harm you've done. I didn't plan to understand you, but against my will I've begun in searching my soul I found that place. Now there's no mistaking this calmer space. I never counted my blessings, I only saw where you failed. Blinded myself to the lessons you taught in so much detail. Well, time has a way of clearing sight. Like slowly someone turned on a light. I'm adding years to my life, years to my life, by saying goodbye to my anger. I've frozen years of my life, holding so much cold inside. Now finally I find I have cried the ice away. I didn't know you'd consumed me. I couldn't see what I'd become. Thought I was some kind of grown-up, but I was still so young. And the more I denied it, the worse it grew, till all I was left with was blaming you. I'm adding years to my life, years to my life, by saying goodbye to my anger. I've frozen years of my life, holding so much cold inside. Now finally I find I have cried the ice away. Years to my life, years to my life. Now finally I find I have cried the ice away. One of the tricks of this little sequence ending with the word leap is the implication that you have anywhere to go or anything to change. I talk about these things with my wife before I come in, and she brought up the point, well, sometimes you trust and release and listen, and you have nothing to change. Sometimes you like exactly where you're at. Sometimes you have a very clear sense that you're headed in the right direction. You just may not be there yet. So you may not need a different color. I thought, well, all right, my wife's brilliant, and you're absolutely right. But I still stand by the idea that next after trusting and letting go is listening. One of my favorite quotes, it sounds apropos of nothing, but it's about this, is from Tom Hanks. I quoted it years ago in my newsletter. Somebody asked him, what is it like to be one of the most honored actors of your generation? He'd won 2 Academy Awards in a row, and he said, to be honest, most of the time I feel like the last man standing. There are a lot more talented actors in acting school with me. One got pregnant, one got a day job, one lost heart, one quit, one moved out of the country, and here I am, less talented than them, but succeeding because I didn't quit. And that is not a from a lack of introspection on his part, I'm pretty sure, but the opposite. So, let's do a little bit of listening just for a couple minutes. We don't have a ton more time, I think, but it's okay to go a little bit longer? Okay, all right. I have lots and lots of songs on this subject, but I want to invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. If you are not comfortable closing your eyes, keep them open. For God's sake. What do I know? Here we go. In fact, even as you sing this song, I invite you to ask yourself a question. What wizard am I seeking? What Oz am I trying to get into? What home feels out of reach without intervention? What goal? What outcome? What achievement? What feeling feels like somebody else is going to have to make it happen? Like it's an external process. The gears have to turn. The luck has to hit. Just take a deep breath. Just acknowledge the feeling, if you have it. What Oz am I seeking? What color horse am I supposed to be to get there? I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, joy. Inside there is joy, more than enough. Inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, joy. Inside there is joy, sacred love. Inside there is sacred love. Inside there is peace. Inside there is peace, joy. Inside there is joy, more than enough. Inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace. Inside there is joy, sacred love. Inside there is sacred love. Take another deep breath. The question on the table is, what would you know if there was no such thing as a guru? What would you know if there was no other expert but you on what you were seeking, on how you were feeling, on where you were headed and where you wanted to head? If there were no authors, no speakers, no religions, no leaders, no wizards. Because guess what? In your own life, you are all of those things. are the guru. You are the wizard. You are already wearing those moderately ridiculous red shoes. The horse is any color you want it to be. The journey is as long or as short as you like, as hard or as easy as you like, as joyful or as arduous as you like. You are the guru. You are the wizard. Internal process from the beginning to the end. Most of the external stuff is just trying to sell you something. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Again. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. Let's do one more song to close. So happy spring, everybody. One more song. Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. And everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star. Oh, that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. And everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before. Broken hearts, slamming doors, gonna be everything new.